welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Faye, and seeing as though this is my first ever YouTube video, I thought I'd do a little bit of a preamble and just let you know who I am and what I'm hoping to do here. Like I said, my name is Faye, I'm 41. I'm the mum to two teenagers, a boy and a girl, and a stepmom to a 7-year-old. I live in the north of England and I am an absolutely avid reader. I read maybe just over 200 books a week. I wish I read over 200 books a week. A year. And I do that in a combination of either like a physical copy or Kindle or Audible when I'm in the car or doing jobs. I use the library, I purchase books, I get books as gifts, and I stress buy books, but I happy buy books. And whenever I have any money for like birthdays, Christmas, anything like that, it goes on books. My entire house is like an ongoing TBR. You can see behind me like the living room books. There are books scattered throughout my house. I'm sure as we get to know each other better, I will take you on a bit of a tour and show you where some more of my stashes are. I'm really lucky. My husband's also a reader, so if I come home with hordes of books, he's normally okay with it. He has hordes of books too, and my daughter's also a reader, so she has some amazing shelves and an amazing collection. And as she's getting older, it's really nice because we're able to switch books now and swap books out. So yeah, over the last 6 months, my teenage daughter has been getting me more and more watching videos on YouTube, the booktubers I think it's called, or the BookTok girlies. I don't have TikTok, so I don't know about their presence on TikTok, but I've been watching some with her on YouTube and I really liked them. I like the dialogue, I like that it's encouraging people to read, and I always have a lot to say about what I've been reading, so I thought maybe I would give it a go. My reading life is kind of split into 2 halves. Every day I have my buddy reads. That's where I read the same amount of pages at the same time, well, not exactly at the same time, but on the same day. At the moment with 2 of my best friends, Sam and Laura. We have a lot of fun doing that. We read a big chunk of a fiction book. We read a bit of a non-fiction book because it wasn't really our thing and we're trying to get into it. But we also read 50% of a Sweet Valley book daily, which is super fun. And then the other half of my reading life is the stuff that I read to and listen to on my own. And that can be anything from the book prize, the women's prize, a classic, sci-fi, romantic. I will try absolutely anything. So what I was hoping to do was break things down and do 2 videos to see if I can get the hang of doing them, if I like doing them. And one I was going to run from Monday to Monday, which would be my buddy reads for the week. So I'm going to pop that in a separate video, see how that goes, because as I'm actually filming this bit here, it's Monday. So it's my responsibility to draw up a reading plan for the week. So I will go do that in a little while and shoot a video for that and do that. For my normal reading, because I read so much, I was hoping to film from last Friday, so like 3 days ago, and film up until Thursday on a certain theme. And I started doing that. But this is my first YouTube video, and so the first 3 days of the weekend has been a lot of trying things out. And it's like right now I know like the light's not great because of the sunshine and I don't have blinds, but this is the best time for me to film when people are out of the house not making noise and stuff, so I'm just going for it anyway. And so I had some difficulties. We tried using mics, we tried not using mics, I tried doing some reading footage, and I'd done like this whole explanatory video of what I wanted my theme to be for the week, and it's just the audio is shot. It's terrible. So I'm going to have to redo that now. Things in my life do not always go as planned. I am telling you right now, as I am talking to you, I keep like moving my head and getting a whiff of furniture polish. And I'll tell you for why. Because I couldn't find my hairspray this morning, and so I went into my daughter's room assuming she'd stolen my hairspray, and she constantly has her blind shut, and it was dark, and I picked up the bottle that I thought was the hairspray, and it wasn't. It was furniture polish, and I am talking to you with furniture polish in my hair because I have not had time to go and wash it because I've been busy. So no, things in my life do not go as planned. But you just gotta roll with it. Just roll with it. See where you end up. So, this week's reading theme. I'm having a reset on my life and on my house. I have currently left my last job and still looking forward to applying for new jobs. So I'm having a reset. There's been a lot of stuff that's not got done. It's spring, so I'm going to be having a bit of a spring clean. We might get some footage of me listening to audiobooks. That would be fun. That would be fun if I could work out how to do that. But my reading theme for the week is, like any good book addict, I went and got myself a dealer, and I've been really lucky. I used to be a bookseller for a couple of years, and they are still able to supply me now and again with some proofs. So I have been to my local independent bookshop and I have managed to persuade them to lend me some proofs. And what I did originally is I put all the proofs in my independent bookseller bag and just drew them out randomly, just in the order that they were in the bag, and I read the blurb and I found a random sentence, and that worked really well. However, it's been 3 days. So I've like been reading them, and I did get some footage of reading one and talking about it. So I can't act well enough to do that again and make it look like it's my first time. So instead, I have put them in the book bag randomly, but I have kind of like fiddled the order a bit, and we'll have to do it in a different way. So let's jump into my week and let's jump into the bag and see what's already gone on. And so the first one that I decided to read was this one called That's All I Know. It's due out in May 2025 and it is published by, I'm just looking at the back, Daunt Books, which is one that I don't know about. Normally when I get a translated one, it's normally by Granta. I liked it. I did do some footage of me actually reading it because I really like it when the other booktubers do like the speeded up stuff and you can actually watch them reading. It's really nice. It's really cozy while I'm like cooking in the kitchen or like doing a craft or something. It's cute. I like it. So I gave it a go. Hopefully I have got good enough that I'm able to splice in that footage now. literature, but it's not hard language and it's not hidden themes and hidden subtext. It's all right there for you. And there is this lovely sense of longing and yearning throughout the whole book, which I think anyone over the age of 30 will recognise from being 19 and from being at that stage in your life where you're not quite sure where you're going to move on to. Are you going to move away from where you live? Are you gonna, those kind of things, the constraints on your family life and how you're gonna move forward with that. There's also this dark, pervading sense throughout the whole book that builds up into this big climax, and it does it really well. So I would highly recommend this if you're into indie publishing, if you want to try something new, if you're into literature fiction. Highly recommend. I've not done stars on Goodreads, or even I've not written reviews on Goodreads in so long. I used to do it a lot, and I used to do like the get free books for review, but I stopped doing it because I didn't want to meet the deadlines for having to read a book by a certain day. I didn't like it. It felt like a lot of pressure. And also, it's really hard to critique somebody else's work and not focus on what I would have changed, what I would have improved. Obviously this isn't the same. This is like from a actual published author. The ones I used to get for free a lot of the times were ones that they'd edited themselves and stuff, and they were right cracking. But it is hard because I read like everything, and so for something like this, it's like really technically well written, and I did actually enjoy this. But sometimes I read something and it's really beautiful and really technically well written, but I didn't enjoy it. It was hard work, and I had to really think about the themes and what does this mean, and is this an allegory, and sometimes that can like detract from the reading experience. Whereas other times I might read a hockey romance and the writing is maybe not top form, really simplistic, but I've really enjoyed it. So anyway, that's a long way of saying I find it really difficult to star rate things. So overall, technically, this is a really good book, and I enjoyed it, and it's accessible. Anyone could pick it up and read it and enjoy it. So for that reason, I'm going to give That's All I Knew by Elisa Levi 4 stars. If I read that again in a year, will I though? See, this is it. And anyway, but yes, it is a good book, and I don't want to be too picky, particularly with the first one. The next one that I picked up was one that I was actually surprised by. This one is called One Day Everyone Will Love Being Against This, and it is published in February 2025, so it's out now. It's by Omar El Akkad. I hope I said that right. And this one is published by Canongate Books. It is out now because I did check. It's available on Kindle, it's available on Audible. I didn't realise this was non-fiction when I picked it up. However, I do read non-fiction, but I wasn't expecting it. I thought this was going to be like Patricia Lockhart's Not Everybody Is Talking About This. I think I got the title wrong. And possibly the name. That's interesting. Right, I'm going to look that up and I'll come back to that. But anyway, this book is brilliant. I am just loving it. The author is Middle Eastern born, and currently lives in the US, got there by way of Canada, and has been a foreign correspondent journalist for some big things. Big newspapers. He also wrote a fiction book called American War, which I have put straight in my Amazon basket and will hopefully be getting that soon. calls out the way that we use words and the way that the West operates, the way that the liberal West operates, I should say, and how influential America, the UK, France, and Germany are. In particular, his main theme of this is focusing on the see, this is it now. I've read this book. It's making me think about the words that I'm using to describe it. The book focuses on the language that we're using around what's going on in Gaza at the moment. And the reason that I struggled was I didn't know whether to call it a situation, because that's what I get told, or whether to call it the conflict. And yeah, he points out that there is language to describe what's going on and we don't use it, that liberal Western media shies away from it for economic reasons, and it's just brilliant. You need to read it. You really need to read it if you are a thinker, if you want to know more about what is going on in Gaza, if you want to know about language and how it is used, how politics changes our language, whatever your current opinions are on the situation in Gaza, you need to read it, because his writing style is just amazing, and it will make you really angry, no matter what your opinion on the situation is. I'm doing it, I'm calling it a situation. It's because I don't want to use some of the words and stuff that he encourages in this, not because I don't want to use the words, but because I want people to read it and I want people to form their own opinions. It's not, I can't see it getting loads of traction, but it's important. It really is. So like, I've got about 30 pages left because my weekend's been insane. So keeping up with buddy reads and stuff, I've not had a lot to read, and there's a lot to digest in this, and I'm going to be thinking about it a lot. But yeah, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to force politics on anybody, but it's fabulous and it's beautifully written as well. So highly recommend. I think I will end up giving this 5 stars. I don't want to talk about it again because I've got a whole bag of books to work through. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it will be 5 stars. If it's not, I'll tell you. But if I don't mention it again, it was still 5 stars. So then the next out of the bag that was going on concurrently with that was, oh, not that one. That's what I want to read next. See, this is what I mean. Hairspray in my hair. Can't even get my book order right. Right. The next one I got was called La Fée, which was actually out in July last year. And they've obviously given it to me because my name is Faye. It's actually the second in a trilogy. And I was like, oh, do I want to read it? It's about Morgan Le Fay, which I don't really know much about. I kind of like have vibes of her being like the bad dude in Arthurian legends, like against Merlin. Yeah, so didn't know much. So I had a look. The first one is called Morgan Is My Name. Now, because these are not brand new, both of them are available on Audible, and I have a Audible subscription, and they are both Audible originals, and so they were free as part of my subscription. So what I've done is I started with the first one, Morgan Is My Name, and I am listening to it on Audible, and I'm really enjoying it. It's set in Tintagel, under the rule of Ulfa Pendragon, and it presents Morgan as the daughter of Ulfa Pendragon's new wife. The new wife has been coerced into marrying him. Pendragon killed her father. She rebels, doesn't want to have much to do with him. It's just really fascinating. At the moment, there's not a lot. She's very much the hero in this, and Merlin is very much the bad guy so far. He's only been in a couple of scenes, but where I'm up to, she's just gone off. She got banished to a nunnery where they actually had scholars who were teaching people to be scholars, and when they turned 21 they could take the nuns' vows and stay there and continue being scholars. And that's what she's hoping to do along with her friend Alice. They've both been studying healing, and it turns out that Morgan seems to have some kind of supernatural ability to heal, and one of the nuns, the prioress, has shown them about laying on of hands and said about calling on the only different spot now. It is because I totally am. My phone was just like, your iPhone storage is full, and I just had to like offload a load of audiobooks, so that's always sad. Anyway, I was talking about My Name is Morgan, and you'll know what I was saying. I have got no idea. Anyway, yes, she's just found a book in the nuns' scriptorium, sacristy, don't know, book room, and it's like a book of incantations and spells, and she's been using them, and her friend's been advising her not to. So I'm really enjoying that. I really like that. I'm enjoying listening to. It's a historical fiction that I might not have picked up otherwise, but yes, I'm really enjoying that one. So that's 3 out of my pile. There are several more to go. Now, because I don't want to talk about the other one again, and because I'm obviously babbling and using up all my phone memory, I am just going to go quickly and show you the one that I picked out last time, before the Morgan one, is called Traumaland by Josh Silver. And it says, welcome to your worst nightmare. Welcome to Traumaland. It's from the author of the best-selling Happy Head, which I have got somewhere and haven't read yet. And this one's out in May 2025 as well. The publisher on this one is Rock the Boat. This one is an absolutely wild ride, and the blurb says, 17-year-old Eli has been in a near-fatal car crash. As the anniversary of the incident looms, his therapist and family struggle to help him deal with the fallout. The accident has left him emotionally numb, with no memory of the months following the crash. Desperate to feel something again, Eli winds up at an underground club called Traumaland, but this is no ordinary nightclub. Here he joins crowds of over emotionally numb people, all seeking to experience a new thrill by entering virtual reality simulations of nightmarish scenarios through the point of view of various characters. When he enters the story of a boy called Jack, he discovers a dark truth to the club, a truth that sets Eli on a dangerous journey to find the source of his own trauma. Oh, now that does sound good. A deliciously dark standalone thriller. This does look good. Let's find a random sentence. The graffiti on the door slowly comes into focus. That's it. That's it. So it's a lot of short sentences. I wonder if this is YA or if this is like adult. So this week has not been weeking and nothing has gone to plan. So my house reset didn't really happen, and like this idea I had of doing like cutesy little like me reading or doing cute stuff, no. I got lots of reading done because the way my week wasn't weeking meant that I had time to read, but my house is still a mess. Anyway, last time I checked in, I was about to reach Traumaland, and surprisingly, that was amazing. It was YA, and I've been out of love with YA for ages. Maybe it's because this wasn't fantasy, it was more sci-fi, I guess. It was like kind of it was set like reality, but there was this kind of like technology that could mess with and remove memories, and it was just fabulous. It was so quick paced, but a lot of character development, a lot of tension. Really loved it, just loved it. And so I immediately went and got his other ones, Happy Head and Dead Happy. So I'm looking forward to reading those. And then I needed a palette cleanser because the week was not weeking. And so I picked up a copy of this book from The Works, which had been eyeing up for ages, and I mainly did it to annoy my daughter because it was called Truth or Beard, which is like the worst title ever. Anyway, love it. Welcome to the new obsession. It's a small town romance and no one is a billionaire, which is always nice, and no one is a famous rock star. It's set in the mountains of Tennessee. Lifelong frenemies, who he's had a crush on her for a long time. She's gone away to college, comes back, he makes his intentions known. He's a part of this big family. They all have like proper hillbilly names like Jethro and Cletus and stuff, but it doesn't detract. There's a whole subplot with a local biker gang and her cousin who's a stripper who's mixed up with the biker gang and used to like date the guy that she ends up with. It was just really fun. The main character, Jessica, is just crazy, chaotic, says whatever's on her mind. I just adored her. She was great. And the male lead, Dwayne, little bit recalcitrant, like a little bit surly, but knows his own mind, gets stuff done, and just loved it. So this whole series about these brothers, which interconnect with two other series this author has written, this first one that I read, Truth or Beard, was written in 2015, and I can go ahead and read the whole of this series, the Winston brothers, and the interconnected ones, Knitting in the City, where one of the books is about their sister, and a offshoot series about the brother Cletus and his love interest Jen solving mysteries, which is like the solves mysteries for pie. I just, everything about it, I just love it. I could go ahead and read them. They're on Kindle Unlimited. However, they are republishing the books, and I particularly love this cover, and it came with like all kinds of extras, like a map and a family tree and little illustrations of the characters. In fact, speaking of this, you can actually buy a paper doll book, like press out dolls that you can dress, of like all the Winston brother characters. Just, I love me some merch. Anyway, yeah, so I could, but I really loved it and I want to like collect them. So the next one, book 2, I have pre-ordered the like special edition, which is like the one I've got now. So the covers will match, it'll have like little illustrations and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to try and like pace myself and keep them as palette cleansers, because kind of like I know I'm going to love it. Know I'm going to love the writing style and the fun, and it's going to be like good energy. So we're keeping those on a back burner. So then I went back to the proofs. I'd had a palette cleanser and I started reading A New Me. I had read pieces by her before, or tried to read pieces. She has, I'm only the first chapter in, and she has like this really surreal writing style. It's kind of like, I don't know. Oh, engine started. I've got the car on still because it's cold. It's kind of like a dream, the way that she writes. Like, there's a main thread that goes through it that kind of makes sense, that holds it all together. But all the things going on around it are like super surreal and meandering, and at some points it's kind of like, you feel as though it's kind of like word salad. You feel as though it's making sense, but if you think about what she's saying, it makes no sense. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I'm missing something and I'm not clever enough for it, or whether it is meant to be like this and that's the whole point. I don't know. I don't know if I'm smart enough for it. At the moment, I'm liking it. It's what I've gathered from the first chapter. It's this woman who seems to have like this split personality. She's split her personality into 7, and each day a different personality takes over. They're completely disassociated from each other. They leave each other diary entries and video clips, and the plot is that the first Kinga, that's the name of the protagonist, has discovered a man in their pantry taped to an armchair, and she's also suspicious of Kinga number 7, who does Sundays, because she's discovered that Kinga number 7 has been going to church and has also been reading the passage in Matthew where 7 demons are cast out. So she thinks that Sunday's Kinga wants to get rid of all the other personalities and have Kinga identity to herself. So that's where we're at, and so that's the plot line, and that makes sense. Well, it doesn't, but it does. But all the other stuff around it is like super surreal. So I'm only one chapter in that. It's only 200 pages, so I will finish that off. But that is the end of Proofs and Reset Week. So we have not reset. We did read Proofs. We read a palette cleanser. Oh, and also I've been listening to Call Me Morgan, which is historical, and I like it. I've got like 2 hours left to listen on that, because the idea was that I was going to listen to that and Luffy whilst resetting, but the reset then didn't happen. So they're on the back burner. I'm going to keep those around, and if I ever get a chance to reset and do little cutesy stuff, that is what I'll be listening to. They're about Boggle and Fae, low on fantasy. It's presented really as a historical fiction. There is a strand of romance running through it, thwarted love, not a lot of magic. So when I finished those two is when I'll give an opinion. I didn't do star ratings because I don't normally do star ratings. So I will do star ratings. Traumaland, weirdly, 5. Truth or Beard, 5. This, A New Me, not finished, also a bit weird, so no star rating for that yet. And because the Call Me Morgan and Lafay not finished, no star rating for those yet. So Proofs will still be kicking around, but ready to move on to like a new theme for next week.